Hi. So, my name is Haley Dakota Jackson. I was born May 31st, 1995. So, I am 18 years old. Over the past year or two, I have been diagnosed with bipolar 1, mixed bipolar, post-traumatic stress disorder, major depression, generalized anxiety disorder, or otherwise unspecified. Basically, the reason that I'm starting this video or this channel or doing this is partially for my own outlet and also to help others out there like me, because that is really now become my passion. I strive to become a psychiatrist to help people like me, because there is honestly not enough help, and the help that there is usually not all that great. So, a little bit about all of my illnesses, starting with bipolar. There are different levels of bipolar. The one that I have, bipolar 1, is the only stage where mixed bipolar occurs. So, as with the stereotypical version of bipolar, you fluctuate up and down, you go way up, and you go way down. And there's usually no in between. But while I experienced some of that, I mainly experienced the mixed bipolar, which is where I can feel extremely happy and ecstatic and excited and ready to go and energetic, and feel very depressed and devastated and useless and worthless at the same time, which is very, very confusing. That's really the main problems that I have with bipolar. And sometimes I experience small levels of psychosis when in these states, because I consciously know that I am in these states and there's nothing that I can really do about it. So, moving on to post-traumatic stress disorder. What I experience with post-traumatic stress disorder is I have flashbacks and nightmares very frequently, every night and every day, of the abuse that occurred while I was a child. Like most people with mental illnesses, they did experience some sort of trauma, whether in childhood or adulthood or in their teenage years. Mine was between the ages of 4 and about 16. So the post-traumatic stress disorder, I have, like I said, the flashbacks and the nightmares every day and every night of the events that occurred, and I often have the paranoia and fear that they can happen again, even though logically I know that it's pretty much impossible for them to occur again. But it's really hard to retrain your brain after so many years, or even just a split second of traumatization, that it's not going to happen again. Because fear is such a very, very strong emotion, and it's hard to counteract fear. With depression, it's basically the stereotypical depression. Don't want to get out of bed, sleep all day, sleep all night. But it's also a double whammy with bipolar for me personally, if I'm in a depressive state. So I get double slammed. I'm completely hopeless at that time. And my anxiety panic disorder, whatever you want to call it, generalized anxiety disorder, I have social anxiety. I do not like to talk to strangers on the phone, so my mom pretty much handles 99.9% of that for me. Her name is Sherry, and I love her very much, and she's very supportive, and she tries her best in everything that she does. I sometimes will have panic attacks out in public places. I will experience panic attacks, anxiety, and this also goes hand in hand with post-traumatic stress disorder. If I know of the person that has abused me, there were several. If I know that they are around or near or coming to a vicinity where I am, or even if I hear their name or hear their voice, I sink so low down and I spiral out of control. I did forget to mention that during extreme episodes of mixed bipolar, I do sometimes experience very small spans of psychosis where I'm completely just not in reality, where reality just is not what it is to normal people, so to speak. So there's probably some stuff that I forgot to mention about the disorders I have, and they will probably come to me at a later date. But currently I'm on Zoloft for my anxiety disorder, 100 milligrams a day. Clonidine, 0.1 milligrams for panic disorder. Xanax, 1 milligram, one every 4 hours as needed. But I often take a lot more than that because it does not help me whatsoever. And I'm on Soma, which is a muscle relaxant, and as far as I know, it has nothing to do with the chemicals in the brain, but this is to help me relax to go to sleep because I also suffer from insomnia. But tomorrow I am going to my psychiatrist to switch around some medications, and as you probably noticed, I'm not currently on anything for bipolar medication, for bipolar disorder. I've tried several different mood stabilizers and antipsychotics, and none of them have worked. So I'm going to try Topamax, I believe, if she suggests that's the right one, or Depakote, which I prefer Topamax because from what I've read, it seems to fit me better. And switch the Xanax to the highest dose of Valium. So yeah, basically, I want to help people like me. It's so hard to help people when you yourself are not quite straightened out. It's a very long road, it's a very long process, it's a very hard struggle, not only to deal with what you've been through, but to now have to deal with what you are left with, what you are scarred with. But I've learned that you kind of have to wear the scars proudly. And by scars, I can mean emotional scars or physical scars. And I have been a victim of self-harm, which is very difficult to explain to people why you do it. Everyone has a different reason, but it does definitely hurt the people around you. But I want to help the supporters of people who have mental illnesses better understand why they are the way they are and how to help them in a way that's not harmful to either party. And I want to help people like me to better understand as well what's going on inside their brains, and to let them know that they're not alone and that there is help out there. I personally did go to a psychiatric hospital about 2 or 3 months ago, and it was very traumatic. It was a very traumatic experience. The staff was not very well prepared to deal with people with mental illnesses. They were sometimes cruel, they were sometimes rude, they were sometimes oblivious to what was going on. They just really were there for a paycheck. And if you want me to go more into my 4-day stay at the psychiatric hospital, then I will make another video about that. But it was more traumatizing for me personally, not for everyone, but it was more traumatizing for me because I had a flashback of actually being in the mental hospital, and the flashback was of a traumatic experience that I had in the hospital. So that added to my post-traumatic stress disorder. So I definitely don't think that the United States psychiatric wards or hospitals or whatever you want to call them are not up to par. I don't think that they are staffed correctly. I don't think that they are prepared or know how to help people. But anyways, we can do another video on that if you want to know. I think I've pretty much covered everything. I've probably forgotten something, but I really want to say thank you to my boyfriend Chris, who lives in Seattle to go to college but is currently in New Jersey visiting his parents, and I will be flying out there in 12 or 11 days, February 3rd, to be with my love. He is very supportive, he's very helpful, and I don't know what I would do without him. And as previously mentioned, my mother Sherry, she's just the best mother in the world. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens from here. And hopefully the appointment with the psychiatrist tomorrow goes well. So hopefully I'll let you guys know. And I did forget to mention one thing. If you have any questions or comments, please message me or comment below, because I'm glad to help. That is what I'm here for. That is what I want to do. So yeah. Here's my baby boy Bam Bam, my little tabby cat. He gets me through some hard times. It's always good to have an unconditional loving animal.